What's going on, YouTube? Reezonoticz back once again, baby, and I'm doing a review on a wrestling pay-per-view. I know I ain't done the wrestling in a long time, especially pay-per-view, but I'm reviewing TNA's Turning Point 2012. Happened this past Sunday. Overall, a decent show. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Not great, not horrible. But here's what I will say. Some very, very questionable decision-making by TNA in the booking and in the direction these storylines are going to go from here. Not happy at all. And also, even worse, some very in-your-face, let's just show you how amateur and how rookie we are at this wrestling thing. Mistakes that they made on the production side, which was even worse. But as far as the action in the ring went, for the most part, very well, as you can always expect from TNA. Their biggest stars, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Aries, Hardy, all these guys went all out, did their thing in a very off-the-top way. It was very well done. So let's just get right to it, match by match. Samoa Joe defending his television championship against Magnus. Didn't expect a lot from this match. Got a lot more than I bargained for. First off, because I respect Magnus. I like Magnus a lot, but I'm hearing time after time again that his contract is up with TNA and that he's being underused, so he's going to go somewhere else. But I've been hearing this for a better part of 2 months now. And all of a sudden, he's involved in a storyline. So maybe he's staying. But because of that, I didn't know what to expect from him. And Samoa Joe, y'all know, if you follow me, I don't like Samoa Joe. Don't see anything special about him. You know, Joe's gonna kill you. Fans love him. I just see a fat guy who can get from point A to point B faster than other fat guys. That's it. Don't see nothing special. But either way, they both went all out. Did a very good job, very good storytelling as far as the emotion and how bad you want to beat the other guy type of vibe that we got from the match. At the end, here was the first real big mistake as far as the production side of TNA. This shows you how they don't pay attention to the details. And you need to pay attention to the details. The great show is in the details. It always has been. And so, you know, Samoa Joe hits his finisher, Magnus kicks out. So beautifully. Magnus hits his finisher, Samoa Joe kicks out. So beautifully. Samoa Joe gets him in the rear naked choke. Falls down with him. Magnus is struggling to get out of it. He starts looking like he's going to black out. What are the rules in wrestling fans? Anybody out there know? In that scenario, the referee is to check by holding up the guy who's in the submission hold, holding up his arm, and if it drops once, twice, 3 times, then he's knocked out, the match is over. And the funny part is that Taz is saying this through commentary. He's like, oh, they're going to check his arm, he's got to drop that arm 3 times. As soon as he dropped that arm 1 time, the referee rang the bell. Don't pay attention to the details, you know what I'm saying? So, either way, Samoa Joe retains the TV title. Very good match aside from that retarded ending and the way they botched it as far as, you know, we know rules. We're wrestling fans. We know this. You know, but either way. Next match, I ain't even going to talk about because it's retarded. ODB and Eric Young versus Jesse and Tara. Knockout titles. Knockout tag titles on the line. You have knockout tag titles when you only have about 5 women in the entire division. Retarded. And then you have these knockout tag titles on a guy for over 4 months now. Get out of here. Retarded. Don't want to talk about it. Retarded. I don't even care. If you want to know who won, you have to look it up because I ain't going to tell you who won. It's retarded. No one cares. Next, Rob Van Dam defending his X Division title against Joey Ryan. This was a far better match than I thought it was going to be. And let me tell you something about Joey Ryan. I know the kid got skills. I know that. But I just don't like him. But I will say this. He sells his character better than anybody I've ever seen, bro. He really comes off as that grungy, sleazy 1974 porn star reject. You know what I'm saying? He sells the look. He comes to the ring with his pelvis all bulging out, hand in his drawers, greasy ass chest hair, sunglasses, tongue all out. He really sells it really good. The match was far better than I thought it was going to be. Of course, Rob Van Dam retains his X Division title. And from somebody who's not a Rob Van Dam fan, never have been, I got to say I like him as the X Division champion. I think that is the perfect niche for him, and I think he can really elevate that division and really bring some prestige that's been lacking in a long time to that title. They just got to book him in some actual storyline. We haven't had it yet. We just have matches. I want to see him involved in a storyline. I know part of the reason they don't do it is because he sucks on the microphone. That's always going to be a drawback with Rob Van Dam. So, going on from there, he wins. He retains his X Division championship. Next, we have Doc. Most recently, unmasked member of Aces and Eights. No one cares about because he's no one special. And we all knew this was going to be a group of nobodies for the most part, except for Jeff Jarrett being the leader at the end. Him against Joseph Park. Here was the second big-time production mistake of the night. And it was really costly because even though we know what the storyline is, because we're wrestling fans and we're not stupid, we feel stupid when you blunder it out on national television when you weren't supposed to. I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a minute. Match is very, you know, typical. Doc intimidating and beating the crap out of Joseph Park until, surprise, surprise, he starts bleeding and he snaps. Very Abyss-like. Snaps, like he did the last time he was in the ring with Bully Ray and he saw his own blood and he snapped. Bomb Bomb beats the hell out of Doc, gives him a black hole slam, and then snaps back into reality. Then while he's beating up on Doc, Taz is talking, and he's saying, oh, you know, this is the kind of match where to really win the match, you're going to have to take it to a whole new level. You're going to have that mean streak in you, and I don't think Abyss has that in him. I'm sorry, what did you call him? This is Joseph Parks in the ring. What'd you call him? I don't think Abyss has that in him. Thanks for ruining the whole damn thing, even though we knew it. It's a different story when your own announcer comes out on the freaking national television and pay-per-view and says it. Now we all know without the shadow of a doubt this is Abyss. And you just ruined it for us. Because even when we know, we like to see it come to fruition without being spoon-fed it and telling, oh look, here's the storyline. TNA does not pay attention to the details, man. So then, you know, long story short, Doc wins that match after a very respectable fight with Joseph Parks, and even Bully Ray at the end of the match comes out and holds up Joseph Parks' hand like a moral victory type of thing. Like, yo, you did your thing. Boom. Respect. Next, we had Chavo and Hernandez defending the tag team titles against Christopher Daniels and Kaz, the former champions. Let me just say this is going to come off very controversial. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to get through the 10 minutes without having to do a part 2. But let me just say this. It's going to sound controversial. A lot of you may not agree with me, but I've never cared, okay? And I've never cared about tradition. Just because this is what's normally said, it's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what I feel and what I've seen, okay? I've seen a lot of the Guerreros fight. I've seen the late, great Eddie fight. I've seen Chavo fight. I've even seen clips and highlights of Hector Guerrero fight. Eddie Guerrero was a good technical wrestler. He wasn't great. He wasn't Bret Hart. He wasn't, you know, Shawn Michaels. He wasn't Dean Malenko. He wasn't a great technical wrestler. He was a good technical wrestler. No one thought he was great or made a big deal about him until after he died, which is the custom with so many of these athletes and celebrities. So no disrespect for me intended to Eddie Guerrero. He was good, but he wasn't great. Okay, now Chavo has always sucked. Chavo has always been subpar to mediocre at best. Never been anything special. Hector Guerrero, okay. They call the great Guerrero family like if they're a line of great, amazing wrestlers. No, they never have been. They're great for me in my book because they have consistently been in the industry, and that you respect. But great, like great talent? No, they haven't had great talent. I'm sorry, they haven't. So, going into the match, Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez are the champions. I don't think they ever should have been the champions. That was just another case of TNA kissing ass to another WWE guy that comes through the door and giving him a title right away, like they did with Jeff Hardy. They should not have been the champions. It should have been AJ and Kurt Angle from the last pay-per-view. But either way, the match was very well done, back and forth action between these two teams. Both of them are showing their chemistry as teams. Long story short, at the end of it, Chavo and Hernandez retain their titles. They beat Kaz and Christopher Daniels after a very hard-fought match. Probably one of the better matches of the night. Next, we had the three-way between Bobby Roode, James Storm, and AJ Styles. Winner becomes the #1 contender. Person that gets pinned gets eliminated from the world title picture for an entire year. First off, this match was amazing. This was the best match of the night, period. Even better than the main event. Not by much, but it was better. Great action between AJ Styles, James Storm, and Bobby Roode. 3 of your studs going at it in this match. Pulling on all the stops. Let me tell you what I can't stand about TNA. Is that you have great talent like an AJ Styles, who has not been the champion in 3 years. He even mentioned it before the show that it's been 3 years since he's been a world champion. You have Bobby Roode, who was just the longest reigning champion in history of the company, not more than 2 months ago. And you have James Storm, who won a title a year ago. Okay? The obvious choice to eliminate from the world title picture for about a year would be Bobby Roode. No, at the end of the day, James Storm wins good. He's going to fight Hardy for the world title. AJ gets eliminated from the title picture for an entire year. If I'm AJ, I go to WWE, man, because I'm not getting used here. Anyways, next, Kurt Angle and Devon. Very good match. Kurt Angle won the match, thank God. Not much to say there. Kurt Angle, you know, doing his thing. Devon looking pretty good. And then the main event, Hardy and Aries, was epic. There's nothing really to say. A lot of spots, a lot of bumps. Hardy doing his thing. Aries going all out with the technical wrestling. The emotion was very well done. It was a very good match, and it was a very climactic main event. Very good way to finish the show off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm running out of time, and now I will talk a lot more about it, but I don't want to go over 10 minutes. God bless y'all. Stay gaming. Stay watching wrestling. You this Sunday, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up if you want to hear anything else more in depth about any particular match or anything you want me to talk about. Please comment, subscribe, let me know how y'all feel. God bless.